All right, guys. So today we're going to set up a NAT configuration. So we're going to have, as always, our first step be we're going to place down all of our devices. So we're going to place down a computer and a router and another router. So what the NAT configuration is going to do is it's going to take our PC, which is going to be inside of the NAT, and it's going to change our IP here to be something else, and then send the changed IP over to this router. So basically, it's just going to change our IP address. So, what we're going to do first off is plug everything in from 0 to 00, and then from 01, I'll plug it into 01 here as well. Right? So now, first thing we're going to go do, set up the IP config for the computer. So we're going to give it IP of 172.16.1.2, subnet mask 255.255.0.0, and we're going to give the default gateway is going to be 16.1.1. And then after that, we're going to go into the router, and we plugged it into 00. So for this, it's going to be 172.16.1.1, just like that. And the subnet mask should auto input itself right here. And for example, we're going to put this as router 1. Router 0. We're going to have this be router 0 or R0 for short. Next, we're going to go to the Ethernet for this side, and we're going to have IP address for that be 192.168.1.1. We're going to have 255.255.255.0, right? Now, what we're going to do is go to the last router, and we're going to put this is going to be for 01 as well. And we're going to change the IP address for this to be 192.168.1.2. All right. Now, we're going to go into the command line interface for this router. We're going to go exit so that it just says router config. Actually, wait, hold on. Let me change the router for this as well to be router 2 or just R2, right? So it's going to be router config, and we're going to type in IP route 0.0.0.0 space 0.0.0.0 space 192.168.1.1. So this will route all of the traffic from this router over to router 0. Right? Just like that. I accidentally named this router 2, which I should have named it just router 1 because that's router 0. So, boom. Right? So we changed this so that it routes all the traffic to this router. Now for this router, what we're going to do for router 0, we're going to first off exit so that it just says config, and we're going to set the IP NAT inside source static 172.16.1.2, and then we're going to change it to 10.0.0.1. So basically the request that I'll get from this IP address, it'll switch it to this IP address right here, and then we'll press enter, and that should be set for that. And then we're going to go into here. Since this is 00, this is the PC, which means it's going to be the one that's inside of the NAT. So we want to set that IP NAT inside. Next, we're going to go to this one, which is going to be the router side, which this is going to be outside of the NAT. So we're going to do IP NAT outside, just like that. And then we're going to turn all of the ports on for the routers. So we're turning on all of the ports, and you should see the triangles turn green, just like that. And then we go into the computer, and we're going to ping router 1, which if we ping router 1 is going to be 192.168.1.2. And the first ping should fail. You don't need to worry about that. The rest of the 3 should go through. Just like that. So you see all of the pings going to the router went through, except for the first one. And now you can check that it actually changed by going to the command line interface for the router 0. You could go exit, exit, so that it just says R0 for router 0. And then you're going to do show IP NAT translations. And you'll see that it changed the IPs to its 10.0.0.1 through here. And you could also show IP NAT statistics. So you could see 00 is the inside interface, which is the computer, and the 001 is the outside interface, which is the router 1. And that is basically how you set up a NAT configuration.